Hi everyone, it's me, B Pratical Sunflower. So I'm on today to do a hashtag that was created by the lovely Rhiannon. The hashtag is called hashtag Wanderlust Destination Decks. So this is part 2 of her Wanderlust deck hashtags. I think part 1 was about different types of travel, and this second hashtag is about different destinations. So it's 11 questions, and I've used both Oracle and Tarot decks to answer each question. So question 1 is Paris, and these decks are romantic, elegant and artistic. So I couldn't make up my mind for this one, so I'm going to show you 5 decks for this category. So the first deck, which was gifted to me by the lovely Queen of Set, I'm not sure if this deck is still in print because I don't see much people talking about this deck. So it's called Tarot Erotica. Comes with a guidebook, just plain keywords and stuff. It's got a couple of spreads in there as well. These are quite small for a tarot deck. It's quite erotic, quite romantic. I'm not quite sure what language the cards are written down the bottom, but it's got 2 languages, but the top parts are written in English. The next deck is called the Lover's Oracle. This is a mass market deck, and it's an heart-shaped deck, which I like. They are a bit hard to shuffle for me as an overhand shuffler, but I can shuffle them, but the shape makes it a bit awkward. So the cards have different backs, and it's just got like a oracle message. Emotions are natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. So it's just basically oracle messages about love. I actually like the artwork on this deck as well. Okay. This is the Romance Angel Oracle cards by Doreen Virtual. I think Rhiannon showed this deck as well for this prompt on romance or Paris. This again is the original one because there's a lot of like counterfeit copies. I've had it for a number of years. It's really kind of getting bashed now. You can see all the edges are kind of chipping, but so I have to use it more lightly. So I tend to use this deck to round off a tarot reading or to give extra information if I'm doing a love reading for somebody. I'm not too keen on the artwork, but I actually like the messages on this deck. Soulmate, yes, this is your soulmate, calling your soulmate. So it's a really nice deck for love and romance. Next up is quite new in my collection. It's called the Goddess of Love Tarot. Let's just open this up. Oh dear, it's quite tough, maybe because it's new. May the Goddess of Love bless you and keep you. May she guide you deeper into the mysteries of your heart. May she hold you on your journey in perfect love and perfect trust. And may the cards be keys that unlock her energy within you. So this deck is a mass market deck. I think it's kind of FOF based as well. Some of the names have been changed. So this would be the devil, not the devil. So this would be the Fool card. It's called the Void. This is the Magician, Enchantress. But it's got like a kind of like love energy. I love the fact that the cards are red, and I associate the colour red with passion. It's just a really nice deck. I haven't actually worked with this deck as yet, but I'm looking forward to working with her. So this is the Goddess of Love Tarot, which is quite new to my collection. And the final deck to my Paris selection is called the Modern Love Tarot by Effany Dawn. So this is another indie deck. I love this deck. The cards are slightly larger than a regular tarot deck, but they're beautiful images. Really beautiful. This looks like Effany, in my opinion. And it also comes with a very nice chunky guidebook. It's quite big, I think, for a little book. And it also gives, you know, it talks about relationships, dating, love and stuff. So for each meaning of the card, it gives you the general meaning, whether you're single, whether you're ready for dating, committed relationships, struggling relationships, sort of thing, and the ending of a relationship. So it kind of ties the tarot meaning to love. So the next destination is New York, and a deck that is busy, diverse and energy, just like New York. So I've never been to New York before, so I don't know what it looks like, but in terms of being busy and diverse and energetic, I've chosen this deck. It's the Next World Tarot. This is my pocket version. I do have the larger version as well, but it's a bit too difficult for me to work with. I prefer to work with the smaller pocket version. So it's diverse for sure. I'm not sure whether this is set in New York, but this is how I would imagine New York to look like. So it's a very, not so much busy, but I guess it's busy with colour in a way. So I think that's the Statue of Liberty, which I'm assuming is associated to New York. So this is my deck that I chose to represent New York with the Next World Tarot. So the third prompt is Tokyo, and so this deck is modern, innovative and colourful, just like Tokyo. So again, I've never been to Tokyo before. So the deck that I've chosen is the Japanese pattern Lenormand, only because you know, Tokyo is in Japan. So I'm just going by the name of the country, the Lenormand deck. I think it's quite modern, the way that the artwork is depicted in this deck. It actually gives really good readings. It's a sepia colour palette, so I don't know, some people don't like the sepia, but I actually love sepia palette decks. And I think some of the, like this one for the Crossroads, I think that's a very modern way of displaying a crossroad, sorry. Yeah, so it's a very beautiful deck. The Japanese pattern Lenormand deck. So the next category or destination is called Cairo. These decks are ancient, mysterious, spiritual, and just like Cairo. So I've chosen the Egyptian Lenormand because Cairo is in Egypt. So this deck does have extra cards. It's more than 36 cards. I can't remember the exact number. It's a mass market deck published by Schiffer. You know, it's got the Eye of Horus, so it's got kind of like Egyptian kind of themes, like the letter. But it's also a Lenormand deck. Quite bright, quite colourful. Look at the rider, it's somebody riding in the desert on a camel. The heart. It's also got like the playing card associations written there as well, if you use those to read Lenormand with. Look at them, the moon, the tree. The mice. So this is the Egyptian Lenormand deck for my Cairo destination. So destination 5 is Disneyland, a deck that is magical, whimsical, and fun. So for this destination, I have chosen the Whimisical Tarot. Again, I'm going by the name and taking my name literally, but this is a really nice deck. I'm not sure if this is still in print, but it is a mass market deck, and it comes with a bigger guidebook that goes into great depth to the deck. So it's basically nursery rhymes. I mean, it does come with a little book as well, but the bigger guidebook has got more information, and it actually links the nursery rhyme to the tarot card, and you can kind of understand why the creator chose that nursery rhyme to represent the tarot card. So you got the Three of Rods, Two of Rods, let's just show some other cards. These are all rods. I put them in so it's very whimsical, in my opinion. It's nursery rhymes, which I'm kind of like fading away from. But the bigger guidebook, which I don't know if it's still in print, as I said before, it really does link the card to the nursery rhyme to make you understand why that was chosen for the card. The Emperor's like Santa Claus. So destination 6 is London, a deck that's historical, esoteric, and cultured. So I'll just show you a few of the cards. The reason why I've chosen this deck for London is because it just reminds me of like the London that I grew up in the 1970s. You know, the houses, just the whole air of it. Even though the windows open up, it's just very London to me. It's not an historical deck, but it just reminds me of like everyday urban London life back then. And it's also very cultured or multicultural. I really like this deck. And all the suits are kind of colour coded as well. So prompt 7 or destination 7 is Sydney, a deck that is sunny, friendly and adventurous. Chosen the Rainbow Moon Tarot, which is a mass market deck. And the reason why I've chosen it for my Sydney destination is because it's published by Rockpool, which is an Australian publishing company. So this deck, to me, is kind of very friendly and adventurous. It actually gives really good readings. Kind of like alienish archetypes. Very inclusive, brightly coloured. It's just a fun deck. You know, it's got a very fun aura around it. Even the colours are kind of like bubblegum fun. I really do like this deck, and as I said earlier, it gives really good readings. I think the vibrancy, you know, to me makes the energy of this deck easier for me to read with. This is the Rainbow Moon Tarot, and it's a Rockpool mass-produced deck. So prompt 8 is Venice, a deck that's charming and beautiful. So charming and beautiful is open to interpretation, but I've chosen a tarot and an oracle deck that, in my opinion, are charming and beautiful. So the first one is called the Wild Woman Awakens oracle deck. It does come with a guidebook. It's an indie animal deck, melanated deck as well. But I think the artwork is really, really beautiful. I love the colours palette. I like the way that it's drawn. It's just a beautiful deck, in my own personal opinion. The guidebook is really quite detailed. It gives you a lot of information about each of the animal spirits. That bear, beautiful. And the tarot that I have chosen is the Pratical Magic Tarot deck. It's called a starter deck, but I think anyone can use this deck. I just think that the artwork is stunning. I really like it. It's a bit quirky. It's a collage deck, but the way that it's been put together, to me, is extremely beautiful. Oops, a daisy. The cards are upside down. These are the backs of the cards. That's the Practical Magic Tarot. I think I'm going to pack this deck in order after this video. Okay, so category 9 is basically Peru. I can't pronounce that word. Is it Machu Picchu? It's a deck that is majestic, sacred, and awe-inspiring. And the deck that I've chosen for this is called the Visionary Tarot. This is a mass-produced deck. So you don't see much flip-throughs of this deck. And to be fair, I don't really use it very much myself. But the creator, in her guidebook, says that it was her trip to Peru that inspired her for this deck. So it says here, the story of the Visionary Path Tarot began when I arrived in the sacred valley of Incas in the Aden region of Peru. So that's why I've chosen this deck for the Peru destination. It's quite an interesting deck. It does loosely follow the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, in my opinion. It's black and white with purple borders, and it's just really nice, the artwork. These are the backs of the cards. A lot of the archetypes seem to be of people of colour because of the, you know, the facial features, like the big nose and the big lips and the shape of the face and the hairstyles. So that's another thing that attracts me to this deck. But it's a beautiful deck, and as I said before, you don't really see much flip throughs or reviews of this deck. So destination 10 is national parks, and the deck that I've chosen for this one is called the Tarot of the Great Outdoors, because it's based around national parks in America. It's got like some information cards. It's a really nice deck. But I just personally had problems relating to some of the parks because I don't live in America, but you can use it as a normal deck. But I just couldn't understand some of the parks that this deck is referring to. Only because I've never been there before. And I'm a person, I have to go somewhere to be able to appreciate a place. I can't zoom into like a picture and imagine myself there, unfortunately. This is a beautiful deck, and it does show quite a lot of national parks. And the final destination, which is destination 11, is Las Vegas, a deck that's flashy, extravagant and fun. And a deck that was a gamble or a risk to buy. Rhiannon also mentioned cost, but this deck was quite cheap actually. I got it from Amazon. But it was a risk because it was designed by a fashion magazine called Cosmopolitan. And I was just trying to understand how Cosmopolitan would know how to write a tarot deck because they're fashion. And even though to me, the cards don't relate to the minor cards are pippish, but they don't, in my opinion, relate to the meaning of the cards. So I think that was the gamble that Cosmopolitan took. But it is, to me, extravagant because, well, the major arcana to me is extravagant because it's kind of based around a bit of the cosmos, but in a nice, extravagant way. I think this deck must have been created by fashion designers who don't have a clue about tarot. Look at this beautiful eye around a crystal sun, or in the shape of a sun I should say, but the sun's made out of crystal stones. Thank you, Rhiannon, so much for creating this hashtag. I will leave links to the decks that are available in the description bar. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.